Hello, and welcome to your 45-minute yoga peace practice. My name is Mellissa, and I will be guiding you through your yoga practice today. So just a few reminders to start off with today. If this is your first time to yoga or you're an advanced yoga practicer, then please just be, regardless, mindful of your body. So listening to your body at all times. And if something isn't speaking properly to you, then just taking note of that and making a modification as you need to. So we will get started by going into shavasana. So we're going to lay onto our backs, onto the mat, and going to settle in and get nice and cozy. So we're just lying down on our backs. If this is, of course, if you have any back issues, you can sit up and place your hands on your knees or wherever it feels comfortable. But if you're going into shavasana, we're lying on our backs and we're taking up some space. So we're going to move our feet mat width apart or wider, and we're going to roll our shoulders back and down and take up some space, bringing our palms up towards the sky and just coming to connect with our breath. So noticing your inhales in through your nose and breathing out through your nose. Maybe taking a moment to close your eyes and just setting aside your day. You're here right now practicing yoga. So we're going to start to deepen our breath by lengthening our inhales. So really puffing up the belly through your inhales. And matching your exhales. And starting to think of an intention today, and with peace being at mind, just trying to think of something that brings you to your place of peace. So starting to lengthen your breath. So by taking a big inhale, and I'm going to count up to 5. So breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Breathing in again for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time, biggest breath of the day. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pausing and exhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Returning back to your regular rhythm of your breath. So breathing in through the nose and exhaling whatever does not serve you at this moment. And taking a few more breaths before we start to move. So to start some movement into our body, we're going to wiggle our fingertips and our toes. We're going to start to roll our wrists and roll our ankles. So just roll them in circles. If you're rolling them in one direction, you can switch that direction. We're going to take a moment and bring our legs together. So zip those legs up. Our arms are going to come up overhead and interlace our fingers for a big, long stretch. First, maybe stretch of the day. Point your toes away from your body. And your gaze up at the sky. Maybe your eyes are closed. Maybe you do a yawn. Just feel that nice, full body stretch. And one more full breath, body breath here. In through the nose. and out through the nose. I'm going to take a moment and come into a crescent shape. So we're going to take our left foot and just bring it out towards the outside of the mat and shimmy the left shoulder over towards left side. And then we're going to reach for that right wrist. An option to leave your right foot on the mat, or you can cross it over your left leg. We're just coming into a crescent banana shape with our body, so we're getting a big stretch in through our intercostal muscles on the right side, and just relaxing. So let everything go here. Nothing should feel in pain, and just taking some breaths here. Maybe you're still closing your eyes, focusing back on your intention for today's practice. And 2 more full breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Last breath in and breathe out. Let's come back to a neutral spine here. So just unraveling, coming back to the center. We're going to take a breath here just to notice our body and how that right side feels versus the left. And then we're going to stretch on the other side. So the right foot comes out to the right side, cross that left leg over and shimmy the shoulders. Reach for your left wrist. Nice side body stretch here. Closing your eyes and breathing. Two more breaths here. So again, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. One more breath. Breathe in and let that go. Let's come back to the center of the mat, neutralizing our spine here. And take a big breath in and breathe out. We're going to take a bend in our knees and set up for a little spinal twist. So your knees are we're going to lift up our hips and bring them over to the right side and just let our knees fall to the left side. So both of your shoulders are connected with the mat and your gaze is up at the top of the sky. So just feeling a nice side twist, spinal twist. If your gaze is up at the sky, you want to deepen your stretch here. You can bring your gaze over your opposite shoulder. So just taking a few more breaths here, feeling that nice spinal twist. We're going to bring our gaze back to the center. And using the strength of our core to bring the knees back to the center. Again, neutralizing that spine, setting up, bringing our hips over to the left side now, and let our hips fall over to the right side. Again, that gaze is at the sky, or getting a nice little neck stretch in there as well. And taking a few breaths. Bringing your knees closer to your body, that's intensifying the stretch. If you want a little bit less pressure, bringing the knees away from your body. Let's take one more breath here. Again, use that strength of our core. Head comes towards the sky and the knees come towards the center. And this time we're going to bring our knees in towards our chest. So we're wrapping our hands around our shins and I'm going to do a little rock from side to side. So just some movement here, massaging the lower back a little bit. You can even do circles here. So you're circling your knees in one direction. Breathing, feeling if there's a certain spot that needs a little extra attention today. And if you're circling them in one direction, let's switch that up and circle in the opposite direction. Are we doing really small circles or starting to make them bigger? Whatever feels good for your body right now. We're going to come back to center, so bringing the knees back into the center, and we're going to extend the left leg out nice and long and just relax that left leg. So it's just hanging out on your mat, and we're going to circle our ankle. So we're circling that left ankle. We're going to circle it the other way. And if your body feels comfortable with extending that leg up and interlacing your hands behind the leg. So nice, long, full stretch here in that left leg. You can point your toes towards your nose if that feels okay. Deepening that stretch. And if you want to engage your right leg, you can lift that off the ground by just about 1 inch hovering. Holding it here, breathing, and gently release that left leg down, taking a bend in the knee, and we're going to switch sides. So now we are lifting up our right leg, taking a bend in the knee and extending that left leg nice and long. We're going to circle the ankle here in one direction. So your shoulders are back and down. Maybe your eyes are closed. And we're going to switch sides, circle in the other direction. Now we're going to extend that right leg up towards the sky, interlace your hands behind your leg wherever it feels good. You can also switch up your grip on your fingers. If interlacing your fingers always the same way, you can interlace them in a different way to switch that grip up. So again, pointing the toes towards the nose if that feels good. Want to engage your other leg, extending that left leg out nice and long. A few more breaths here. And on your next exhale, we're going to extend that leg down, relax, and take a bend in both of your knees. So we're going to come up onto a seated position. So we're going to rock and roll ourselves up, or if you want to take an easier approach, you can bring your right arm overhead, roll on over to your right side body, and push yourself up. Or the other way to do that is to rock and roll yourself up into a seated position. And we're going to meet in a tabletop position. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So flipping yourself onto your mat and checking in with your body here. So if you have any knee issues, you want to roll your mat up underneath, you can do that to protect your knees, give your knees some extra cushion. And let's check in here with our body structure here. So our shoulders are stacked right over our wrists. We're going to spread our fingers nice and wide here. So our weight's in our index finger and our thumb, sort of helping with that weight going into the index finger and the thumb, and your hips are stacked over your knees. And we're going to come into our first down dog of the day. So we're going to curl those toes and push our tailbone up nice and high to the sky. So our head is very heavy here. Gaze is in between those knees. And you can start to pedal your dog here if that feels all right. So maybe with your breath, your inhale, one set of toes are coming up. And exhaling, that heel comes down and that other stretch in that other toe is breathing in and out. breath in, and breathe out. We're going to walk our hands and feet in towards the center of the mat. So just coming into a forward fold. So hanging out here, folding forward. Head is nice and heavy. You can take a bend in your knees, whatever feels good, but your feet should be 2 fist distance in between your toes here. So again, head is very heavy. You can reach for opposite elbows here. Come into a ragdoll pose. And you can shake your head yes, or shake your head no. You can sway from side to side here. We're going to release our hands down and inhale, come up, halfway lift. And on our exhale, coming all the way up to standing. Just moving with the breath here now. We're going to do some standing poses with moving with our breath. So going to get a nice stance. So feet are about hip distance and we are connecting our toes with the earth. So maybe lifting all 10 toes up, spreading your toes and then letting them relax and feeling them connecting with the earth. We're going to take a roll in our shoulder. So roll them up, back and down. And we're going to do some movement with breath. So breathing in, your hands come up towards the sky. Inhale up, gaze comes up. Exhale, we're going to bring those hands to the center. Just going to do that movement a few times here so that we get the connection with breath and movement. So again, inhaling your arms up, gaze comes up, look up. And exhale, hands to center. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, hands to center. I'm going to breathe one more time. Gaze comes up, arms come up. Exhale, hands to center. Going to do a little bit more movement with that. So our inhale is going to come up, arms up nice and long. This time exhale, we're going to dive forward. And we're going to inhale into a halfway lift. So our hands are on our shins, nice flat back. And then we're going to exhale and fold and melt back down into the earth. And we're going to slowly inhale our whole spine back up towards the sky, look up. And exhale, diving forward. You can do this a few more times. Inhale halfway. And exhale, melt. Breathing in, coming all the way up. Look up. Exhale, diving forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Using your breath to bring yourself up. And exhale, last one, diving forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Shoulders back and down. Exhale and fold. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing. This time we're going to exhale our hands to the center. Excellent. So now we're going to do a few more standing poses. So just going to bring our hands onto our hips here and setting up for a tree pose. So we're going to find some stability in that left leg here and start to open up our right hip. So opening up our hip, you can connect your toes to the earth, or you can bring them up halfway. You just want to avoid that knee joint. So you're either above the knee or below the knee. And hands coming to center when you're ready. So you've got your gaze on something maybe on the floor or the mat, or the ceiling if you want to really challenge yourself. But just connecting with your breath here. Breathing in, shoulders back and down. And that strong standing foot is rooting into the earth. Let's take 3 more full breaths here. So breathing in, lengthening the spine, so you're puppet on a string, nice long spine, shoulders back and down. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. Last one, breath in and breathe out. Gonna slowly just release that leg and those arms, shake that out. Feel the difference on one side to the other side. Maybe do a little shoulder roll, neck roll, whatever feels good here. We're gonna set up for the second side. So now you're pouring your weight into your other side, opening up your hip. And when you're ready, bring your hands to center. So you're really rooted down with that strong standing leg, and you're focusing on opening up this hip towards the wall. So if you can open it a little bit further, and if you fall out, just come right back in. Maybe you want to challenge yourself today with your eyes closed or your gaze up towards the sky. Again, just those shoulders back and down and using some breath. So breathing in and breathe out. 2 more breaths. Breathe in and out. Inhale and exhale. And slowly, just gently coming out of that tree pose. Shake that out. I'm gonna come into a star pose now. So I'm gonna actually switch my cueing so that it can mirror the images here. So you're gonna pour your weight into your right foot, and then you're going to extend your arms up into the sky here. So you're opening up, and the tip of your toe here is just connected with the earth. So got lots going on here. You can stay right here, or you can challenge yourself and bring that foot up. Flex the left foot, and you're just opening up here, shoulders back and down, and breathing, balancing, working on your strength of your core. Core is engaged, and smiling, because this is fun too. And breathing for 1 more full breath in, and breathe out. Breathe in, and relax everything coming down in your exhale. Shake that out as we switch to the other side. So this time you're pouring your weight into your left leg, and then extending that right foot out, and then opening up those arms into star pose for the other side. So shoulders again back and down. And you're welcome to stay right here, or you can challenge your balance a little bit by bringing that leg out. Maybe you're opening up wider, longer, stronger. Maybe you're intensifying your breath, really breathing in and out. Breath in, out. Full breath in and out. You can have you breathe in 1 more time, and then your exhale, you're going to release that. Shake that out. Excellent. Just going to do some more standing poses here with balance. So we're going to bring our arms out nice and long in front of us. So you can bring your arms out with your fingers spread nice and wide, or fingers together. But you're engaging your arms, really using that strength. And then we're going to bring our big toes together, wherever that feels good. And we're going to have a little bit of a space between our heels. Okay, so we're sitting up for a spinal twist now. So we're bringing our big toes together, and our heels again are 1 inch apart. We're going to bring our hands to center. And we're going to start to bring the crown of our head forward and our tailbone out towards the back of the room. So nice flat back. Those knees are together. And we're going to take our left elbow and start to twist it over our right knee. So our gaze is down at the floor, or we can bring it over to the side of the wall. So we're just using that elbow for leverage to twist maybe a little bit deeper into this twist. Maybe we're going to bring our tailbone a little bit lower. And we're breathing here. Breath in, twisting, breath out, breathe in, and breathe out. We're going to use our breath to come back into the center and come all the way up into the sky, arms up. And we're going to exhale those hands to the center and set up for that on the other side. So again, if you need to restructure, those toes are together, those heels are apart. Inhale, breathe in nice and long and tall, shoulders back and down. And then we're going to sit that bum down and our crown of our head comes forward. This time we're taking that right elbow, twisting it over the left knee, and then we're going to look towards the side of the room. So you're hooking that elbow over your knee and twisting, using it as leverage. So maybe you can get a little bit deeper, twist a little bit deeper, but inhale, using your breath to breathe in, and exhale. Then breathe in, and out. One more full breath, in, and out. Come back in and all the way up. Breathing in, lengthening, and exhale, release, let that go. I'm going to come into a little bit of strengthening with the thighs here. So we're standing up, hands are on our hips, and we're going to pour our weight into our left leg. Then we're going to extend that right leg out nice and long here. So you've got your balance on something on the floor that is not moving, and your core is engaged. So we're going to do some movement with breath here. So breathe in, the leg comes up, and breathe out, lower the leg just a little bit. Breathe in, leg comes up, and breathe out, leg goes down. Breath in, and breath out. Last one, make it your biggest, longest. Maybe you're shaking a little bit, and that's good. And exhale, lower, slowly, and let that go. Shake that out. Excellent. Let's do that on the other side. So again, hands are on the hips and pouring your weight into your right foot, extending that left leg out nice and long. Maybe you're pointing your toes towards your nose, but you've got that balance and your gaze, your drishti is on something that is not moving. So let's breathe in and raise that leg. And lower, exhale. Breath in, breathe in, leg up, and release. Breath in, and exhale. Breathe in, and slowly, gently lower. That leg connects back to the earth, and shaking that out. And now we're going to come into some seated poses. So we're going to come down onto our mat and going to come into bridge pose. So rolling back onto our backs and taking a bend in our knees here. And we're just gonna bring our heels up so we can reach them with our fingertips here. So our hips are square, knees are square with our hips. And then we're going to take a moment here and raise the hips up. So we're pouring the weight into our heels and we're lifting up the hips here. Shoulders back and down. Our gaze is up at the sky. So we don't want to move our neck in this pose. And maybe we're lifting our hips up a little bit higher. And breathing here. So taking a couple of breaths here. Breathe in. You're using the strength of your thighs. It's like you have an imaginary block in between your legs that you're squeezing together. One more breath in. And on your exhale, we're going to slowly release that down, release our hips down, come out of that. And we can bring our arms out into the sides and just kind of windshield wiper our knees from side to side here. Let that go. I'm going to do a couple of rounds of that hip raising, strengthening. So let's set up for another round. So those knees come back into the center. We're going to bring those heels back again close towards our tailbone. And then when you're ready, start to inhale and raise those hips up. You can interlace your fingers behind your back if that feels good. Those hips come up nice and high. And notice where your weight is. So your weight should be, again, in your heels. You can wiggle your toes to make sure that your weight is in those heels. Bring those hips up a little bit higher. And holding this and breathing for 3, for 2, and for 1. So to gently, nicely get out of that, you're going to unravel your shoulders, your fingers, and gently bring those hips back down to the floor. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side. We're going to do 2 more rounds of that, so with some options as well. So we're going to bring those knees back to the center, and again, scooching those heels up towards your bum. Inhale, hips come up, and if you want to, for this one, you can take your left leg and bring it up towards the sky. You can cross that foot over your knee, whatever feels good to you right now. If your leg is out nice and long, point those toes, lift those hips up nice and high, holding it for 3, 2, and 1. Take a bend in that knee, release that down, unraveling the shoulders and gently coming back down, windshield wipering again to let that side go. And we're going to set up for the other side here, or if you want to just do your regular hip raises. So inhaling, the hips come up nice and high, and then when you're ready, extend that right foot up towards the sky. Breathing here. Maybe one side's a little stronger than the other, and that's okay. Breath in. Breath out, breathe in, and exhale, release that leg down. Bringing those arms out again nice and long, and those knees come from side to side. And we're going to bring the soles of our feet together. We're going to come into a butterfly pose, so we're opening up our knees from each side, just letting them open up here and getting a nice stretch in the hips here, shoulders back and down. And if you want to intensify this, again, you're bringing your heels closer to your body. If this is feeling a little bit too much, you can bring your heels away from your body. So whatever feels good for you right now. Going to do a little reset here, so our hand can come onto our stomach and one hand onto our heart. So maybe you're feeling your heartbeat here, and maybe you're feeling your belly rise with your inhales and your belly fall onto the earth with your exhales. Take one more full breath here, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And bring our hands to the outsides of our thighs here and just close our legs like a book. And we're going to head on over to our bellies. So rolling on over to your belly side, wherever that feels good. So here we're going to bring our hands underneath of our shoulders, and I'm going to bring the tip of our nose to the top of the mat here. We're gonna zip up our legs so our knees are touching, toes are touching, and we're gonna come into some super person poses. So inhale, our noses and chest is gonna rise off of the mat. And then when you're ready, you can lift up your weight from your hands. So your hands are hovering about 1 inch off the mat. And you're pushing your imaginary shoelaces into the earth behind you. And using your breath here. So let's do a couple breaths in. And breathe out. Breathe in. Exhale. And on your next exhale, we're going to release those hands. Top of your one cheek here can come to the mat. We're going to release our arms down by our sides and take a bend in our knees and just let those feet go from side to side. So windshield wiper from the other way. Letting that go. So we're going to do that a couple more times. So that option that I just showed you is your first option. We're going to come into another option here. So again, let's bring that tip of the nose, bring those the knees back to center, feet back to center, and then your nose back to the top of the mat. And you can bring your hands under your shoulders, or if you want to try another one, you can interlace those fingers behind your back. So on your breath in, you're going to bring your gaze up, shoulders up. And then you're going to also use the strength of your legs to bring those legs up off the floor. And just breathing here and really lengthening. So we're lengthening our crown of our head towards the side of the wall, our feet back nice and long, and breathing. Two more full breaths here. It's really strengthening the spine. And just release that. Come down. You can windshield wiper those hands. Opposite cheek now comes onto the mat. Let's bring everything back into the center now. So the feet zip back together, knees together. And again, you can always come to this pose, or you can extend those arms nice and long, and those feet come up. Inhale, your chest rises, fingers are nice and long, toes lengthening, strengthening, breathing in and out. Breath in and breathe out. Breath in and out. And when you're ready, just release that down, coming out of that. And we're going to come into one of my favorite poses, child's pose. So we're going to bring our weight into our palms of our hands, push ourselves up onto our knees, and we're going to take our knees nice and wide here, and you can bring the mat width apart here, and then we're going to just walk ourselves down, and our arms are going to come out nice and long into child's pose. So your forehead, your third eye connects with the mat. And we're breathing in through our back body here. So notice where your fingers are. Maybe your fingers are spread nice and wide. Maybe you're closing your eyes here. Just taking a few more breaths. You can, if you want to lengthen that spine a little bit more, walk those fingertips out a little bit longer away from your body. Notice if you're clenching anything in your jaw. Relax your tongue. And let's take 3 more breaths here. just starting to waken up from that. We're going to intensify the pose by spreading our fingers nice and wide and then pushing the mat away from our body. So just feeling the strength of your arms, maybe your tailbone's coming a little bit further down towards the mat, towards the earth, and just pushing everything away, pushing the mat away, and holding this for 3, for 2, and 1, gently releasing that and slowly coming back up into tabletop. You can bring those feet or knees hip distance away. And for you pigeon lovers out there, we're going to come into a down dog and then come into pigeon pose. So you can curl those back toes, bring your tailbone up nice and high towards the sky. Start off with the right leg, so coming up nice and high. We're going to take a bend in the knee, exhale, and bring it towards your left knee, towards your left wrist. And we're going to square those hips, and you can relax that back foot down. So this is pigeon pose. You're squaring your hips, nice proud pigeons. If this is too much on your knees, you can always come into pigeon pose by coming forward and sitting down like this, opening up your hip from here. If you're in pigeon pose like this, we're lengthening the spine and strengthening. You can always come down into a sleepy pigeon by walking your hands out towards the top of your mat and connecting your forehead onto, maybe stacking your fists onto the floor. But we store so much of our stress into our hips for sitting down. So just taking 5 breaths here, 5 full breaths. And then wherever you're at, using your inhale to push your weight back up into proud pigeon. And then we're going to curl that back toe and use the strength of our arms to push ourselves back up into a down dog. So taking a breath here to regroup, connect with your right side of your body versus your left side of your body. And when you're ready, you can bring that right foot up towards the sky, take a bend in the knee, reach that knee towards your right wrist, and lengthening that back leg behind you. Release those toes down, squaring those hips. And then when you're ready, coming into sleepy pigeon. Relaxing your jaw here, closing your eyes, taking 5 breaths. Noticing if you're holding any tension anywhere, try to send your breath wherever that tension is. And one more final breath here in your pigeon pose. And when you're ready, pushing your weight back into your hands, pushing yourself back up. Now we're going to take this back leg and swing it around to the front of your mat, and we're going to come into our final shavasana. So our final little meditation pose. We're just going to lie back and come into a pose that feels good for you. So recommending shavasana. If this is too much for your back, you can come into seated pose. But again, we're taking up lots of space here, so feet are mat width distance or wider, and just let your feet flop to the sides. Take a moment and roll the shoulders back and down, and bring your palms up towards the sky. Gaze is up towards the sky. maybe closing your eyes here. So coming back to your intention, the beginning of your class, your focus on peace. Starting to think about what is peace for you. What does that mean to you? Where do you find peace? Closing your eyes and thinking about what peace feels like. What does peace smell like? Taste like? Take 5 more breaths here, focusing on peace. Recognizing how our body feels from how it first felt when we started the practice today to how hopefully peaceful it feels now towards the end of the practice. And again, just bringing some movement into the fingertips and the toes. And we're going to bring those legs back together too. And we're going to bring our left arm up overhead, roll on over to our left side, bend in the knees, putting some weight into that right hand and sitting back up into seated pose to close our practice. So I want to thank you all today for joining me for your yoga practice and sharing your practice with me virtually in this experience. I wish you the best of the rest of your day. And let's take a few breaths just to close our practice. So breath in, hands come up to the center. Exhale, hands to center. Let's do 2 more of those. Breathe in and out. Breath in, last breath. Look up and exhale. Thank you again. May the peace carry on throughout the rest of your day. Thank you. Namaste.